This type of ring was really popular back in the 90s. It's a similar manufacture process to the 5-stone ring, one of my online apprentice projects. Check out how I made it. Get a reading of the stones all together, just to give me some idea of where to stop step rolling in the centre. So I'll just mark that on the strip. And what I'll do is I'll just step roll up to those marks. I'm going to roll it forward, so that's going to lengthen that part anyway. But that's okay, because the way these are going to be set is they're going to be slightly apart. I'll just roll it through up to that mark. Make sure you turn it so that you don't over pinch the metal. So turn it and up to the mark. You can see I'm a little bit shy of the mark. Do the other side. A little bit shy. I'll go a little bit further, so I'll go right up to the mark there. So that's first stage, first part of the step rolling. So open the rolls right up. Make sure the piece goes all the way in, and then turn the handle around about half a turn. And then roll it all the way through. And I'll do that. Turn the handle again. Again, and that'll give me a little bit more length there and also add some width. So I've got it to over 3.5 millimeters. Just going to go through another time because that's quite thick still. So just tighten the handle up only 1/4 of a turn that time. And now turn the handle again 1/4 of a turn, and I'm just going to roll up to that mark through the flats. Bring it round, try and get as consistent a curve as you can. If you've got a ring bender, it's a lot easier because it does get tough around the thick part here. I'll turn it around and start turning the other end. I tend to use the side of my finger there, using my parallels to grip, get them crossed over. It's not exactly round, but it'll give you an idea of the size. So I'm going to aim for a finish size of size M, and you can see on the ring stick that it's a bit gappy here and there, and I've got a reading of pretty much M as it is, so I need to tighten that up. Use your hammer, strike it just slightly away from the end, and as you can see it'll still cross over, so I can get it really tight. That looks. Cross them back. Piece of hard solder ready to go on, and I just pick it up with my solder pick. And then as the ring gets up to temperature, place it on the joint. Always check all around the joint to make sure it's gone right through. So that's good. I'll pickle that now. Now work on getting the right finger size. It can take a long time. Now make sure you flatten it out this way. Another way. Don't take too much off at this stage, we can do a final file up later on. Mark out where the centre is that way. And we can put the centre stone there now. Now, I find the best way to do this, or the most efficient way, is to use some really soft beeswax and just put a layer on the top there. Nice and thick so that the stones will hold, and I'm just going to place the stones upside down. So I'll put the one right in the middle there. I'm putting a gap between them, and it's only around about 1/2 mil. I'll give you a chance to have a look at that in close up in a minute. I'll just check that out, and you can see there's a little gap between the stones, so it's a bit different to how we do the claw set 5 stone ring, as the gap should be absolutely minimal in that case. But this time, because we're putting bars across, then we need some allowance for that. So now the best way to put the marking in again is to just get your saw blade in there and just look directly down and make sure you're right in the middle of that gap. Okay, and just check it that way, make sure those markings are perfectly square. If you don't get that right, then the bars going across will be offset and it'll look really shonky when it's finished. So I'm firming up the marks now. So it goes the opposite way as cutting, just to scratch that mark in. I'll go to the next one now and make sure I get them all looking as though they're lined up properly. There we go, it's gone right through the middle. Drag it up, leave a mark behind. Get this one straight through the middle. I've drawn some round silver wire down. It's 1mm, and this is going to be placed into the grooves. So to cut the grooves in, the best way to start the process is with your 3 square needle file and just go over the saw cuts. Take it off the angle there. Now you've also got a choice of how rounded you make these pieces as well. So I'm going to keep them quite straight on top and turn them quite sharply around, but you can kind of soften it and have more of a bridge going around. So I'll just take the very corner off first, and then just try the wire again. They're all the same depth. So now I'm going to cut 6 wire sections, and I need to make sure that they're going to be long enough to wrap around the sides. Either side to wrap around the sides of the ring. As the solder melts, it should suck the wire into position and hopefully go in straight as well. So I just need to do a little adjustment on the last one I placed. So what you need to do now is get your round nose pliers, and with the rounded part on the inside of the ring, and just position it on the opposite side of the wire that you're going to pull down. And then with the flat part, just press wire down and press it quite firmly so that it starts to go right into the edge there. Now I'm just going to go along and do all of one side first. flux both sides underneath and just allow it to bond to the bottom of the claw. And I can see those run right along there. I'll do that for each one. Yeah, get rid of the excess wire. When you're drilling, just make sure that you're drilling to the imaginary centre of the ring as well. And then once you've drilled through with your 1mm, just check to see that your drilling is straight. Now I'll go through with a slightly larger drill. This is a 2mm ball drill. I'll just open the holes out a bit. This burr is a 2.8mm heart burr. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just under the end rail, and I'm going to then bring it straight and cut under the other rail next to it. So by doing it this way, I'm not going to cut any of the metal off the rail, I'm just going under it. And this will help me when it comes to stone setting. So just to cut at a slight angle, and once I'm clear of the rail next to it, I'll then straighten the angle. You might want to try the stones now. It's very unlikely they'll go in yet, but ideally what you want to be able to do is tuck them in one side and burnish open the other side enough to get the stone all the way in. But I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to shape the setting to take on a rounder profile. Again, it's your choice if you want to keep that flat profile, but I think it looks better to shape it the same as the stones. So I'm just using my I can now make the side rails all nice and smooth, and also they'll all be the same. So it's a very efficient way of finishing off the wires. This makes it easier for levering the rail open, so it's kind of levering and burnishing the rail up. You'll see where it's shiny there. It's just started lifting it. And now it's a case of just trying the stone. So it'll tuck under the last rail, and it's not quite ready to click in yet, so just do some more cut work. Okay, that's in now and it's level as well. It should hold itself in there whilst I work on the others. What I'll do is I'll push this one over this way, and that will help to secure it. Once they're all in, we can start working on pushing the bars down. I'll give you a chance to look at that before we start pushing the bars down, and there's just one slightly on the tilt there, so I'll just push that down a bit further. Before I polish the ring, just to finish off the top, I'll use the greeny silicone disc, and this one's so fine that it's not going to damage the stones, so you're quite safe to work right on top of the ring like this. I think it will probably suit it better if it is slightly shaped, so I'll just turn it into a half round shank now. If you're going to stamp the ring, obviously, and the crossing directions also applies to the inside of the shank as well, so just with some emery on some doweling across the direction. And there we have it, set, polished and finished.